And there you have it. The markets are officially closed on this Friday, May 23rd. Welcome, investors and traders. I'm AJ Monte, and this is a daily candle chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, ticker symbol DIA. As I magnify this here, you could see that we had a lower high, lower low. Today's candle closed just about on that 20-period moving average. Now, remember, the markets are closed on Monday, so if we open up the market below that moving average and then close below the moving average, that's going to be a very negative signal. Like what we saw back here, you could see that it closed just above the moving average on April 2nd, and then what happened the next day on April 3rd, it gapped down, continued down, and then bottomed out right here on April 7th. Now, I am expecting this downside target to hit at 368.12. We're basically stuck in a range. I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, where this high right here was and still is a resistance area as we pulled back this week from that high. Now, if you look down below, you could see that we have a higher volume day. Now, remember what I say all the time, increase in volume on the way down is bearish. That means that the sellers are motivated. If we had a decrease in volume on the way down, it would mean the sellers are not so motivated. So the increase in volume is a bearish signal. Down below, the CCI is crossed below the zero line, which is that black line. It's also known as the momentum line. And this week's lesson is going to be on the CCI and how to fine-tune your sell signals or buy signals. It doesn't matter, but when we're in a down market, you definitely want to be paying attention to the sell signals. And if you hang on to the very end, we have a couple of trades of the week. I couldn't find the best of the week, so I'm going to give you three of them. So stay tuned for that. So again, downside target on DIA is going to be down there, 368.12. We very well may zigzag our way down in an ABCD pattern. Remember, I've talked about that on many videos before. So keep your eyes on the chart. I would suggest you turn off the financial media. They just hype the markets up or down. The charts don't lie. The charts don't have any emotions. And if you learn how to use my 7-point trading checklist, it makes it very easy to read the signals. All right, so moving on to IWM, you're going to see pretty much the same thing. We had a downturn from this resistance high back here. We had the sell signal come in earlier in the week. We have the cross below that momentum line on the CCI. And notice what happened here. The CCI crossed with a sell signal 2 days before the stochastic crossed with a sell signal. You see why that CCI is my favorite indicator? That's absolutely number one, and everyone should have that on their charting platform. So for IWM, I'm going to keep that downside target at 175.81. We might again see this ABCD pattern repeat. Remember, A is at the top. If you get a downturn here and then a pivot up, you'll have a B right there. And then a downturn at this moving average here would be a C, ultimately to a lower D. A lower point D from point B. Remember, that's how the ABCD pattern works. And if you want to trade that, you could also trade it on the way up. Here's A to B, pivots lower, goes up from C to a higher D, right? Here's another one, A to B, B to C, C to a higher D. It's very easy to look for those on any stock, index, doesn't matter, currency, commodity. ABCD patterns are all over the market. Now, if we look at QQQ, you're going to see the same thing. We got this pivot, hard pivot here this week. Slight increase in volume on the way down. We are just about ready to cross below that momentum line. See that blue bubble to the right? It's 11.1873. Once it goes below zero, now you've got a sell signal for the day traders that trade on momentum. Again, look, A to B, B to C, pivot down to a lower D. We've got them all over the market on the way up, A to B, B to C, C to a higher D. So now that you know that, hopefully you'll embed that in your mind and look for them all of the time. So the B just might happen at this gap fill here, right? So you have an A at the top. Again, I teach you repetition to a closed gap B, bounce off of B, pivot from B to C, and then there's another gap fill support down there. And it could zigzag its way all the way down. QQQ target is 417.67. Looking at SPY, this is the S&P 500 ETF. We got a hard pivot this week. Increase in volume on the way down. Still at that moving average, but we have a gap below the market. Remember, a gap fill there will bring the price below that 20-period moving average. And then most likely what you'll see is an increase in volume on a breakout below that moving average, which is acting as support. Downside target SPY, I know it's extreme, but I still have it in place at 497.97. Now let's talk a little bit about the VIX, because remember, for 2 weeks in a row, I've been giving you a guarantee that the weekly gap on the VIX would fill. That was a 100% guarantee that I gave you. Guess what happened this week, especially today? The gap filled. Now, our VIPs are absolutely celebrating on this one because the original trade on UVXY went out. And then last Monday, our option traders, the super spread traders, got an eyeball on the UVXY trade, and they too hit a home run playing the gap. Now, keep in mind that gaps fill 100% of the time on the VIX. So if the VIX gapped down, like it did when Donald Trump talked about the 90-day pause with tariffs, the market rallied, the VIX dropped, it gapped down, and now that has filled. However, there is still an open gap right there at 36.85. I am still holding that guarantee out. That one will fill. I just don't know when. The smaller the gap, the quicker the fill. And of course, this is further away, but I do believe that will fill. So you could still play the VIX through UVXY. You could trade it through VXX. You could trade it using options. There's many different ways to trade the VIX. Now, before you decide to do that, understand this is not advice or a recommendation I'm giving you. I'm just telling you for educational purposes that this is how we trade. I'm showing you the trades that we actually put on. And you can learn how to do this and even paper trade without any risk to your account, because paper trading is more or less putting in mock trades using no money whatsoever. And you could trade until you get a good percentage of accuracy. And then once you get over 70% of your own targets hitting, then you could tiptoe into the market and possibly put some money at risk. But again, that's totally up to you. Use caution. Make sure you stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you stay tuned to StickyTrades. And if you want, you could subscribe to our 15-day free membership. I talk about that every week. No strings attached, no credit card needed. Just sign up. It drops off after 15 days. If you want to come back, that's great. If not, no one bothers you, right? No pressure at all. So the VIX still has an upside target of 36.85. Like I said, you might see a continuation over that moving average. That long shadow leaves me to believe that the buyers pulled back quite dramatically after the opening, but it did close over that 20-period moving average. Look what has happened in the past to the VIX when it closes over the moving average, like that, rallied up, like that. What did it do? It spiked up. Now, I can't say that we're going to see a repeat of this, but when the VIX, or any stock for that matter, closes over the 20-period moving average, you tend to get a continuation of the move. And that's what we're looking for. Okay, on Wednesday, I had asked our viewers to submit some ticker symbols, and we got a few of them. MSTR came up as the most popular. Brian, S. Lee, and Fairmont suggested MSTR. So I'm going to put MSTR in here, and I'm going to use that as an example of how to use the CCI, most especially for generating buy and sell signals. So let me zoom in here to the most recent price action. When I'm looking at the CCI, especially if I'm trading from the short side, I look for when it is overbought. You see that? Overbought, overbought, overbought is when it goes over the red line. this whole area was overbought, and when it's below the green line, it's oversold. Now look what has happened in the past when it goes overbought, and this one, it stayed overbought and then bounced off of the overbought line, and then the sell signal was generated when it crossed below the 100 line, which is the red line. Look what happened after the sell signal. Here's another one, crossed below that red line, which is the 100 mark. That was a sell signal. Look what happened. Here again, crossed below with a sell signal. Look what happened. Here's another one. You see how history repeats over and over, especially with MSTR. So this has recently crossed with a sell signal here. We had the dramatic sell-off, and now it's starting to get into oversold territory. So we, including our members, have a negative delta position on this one. We want it to go to 350, which is a role reversal support level right here. And we want it to just kind of camp out there for the option trades. We're going to hit a home run if it goes to 350 and kind of parks itself there, because we have a horizontal spread at that level. Option traders know what I'm talking about. Everyone else has no clue. That's why I say plug into StickyTrades. All right, so I do believe MSTR could drop a little bit more. We had a sell-off in Bitcoin today. It dropped off $2,700, and because MSTR holds a lot of Bitcoin, that closed below the 20-period moving average. The other ticker symbol was suggested by Kashif, and that was PANW, which is Palo Alto. Now, again, using this as an example with the CCI, I'll just go to the most recent overbought condition. Again, I'm going to circle overbought, extreme overbought, 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 extreme here. See that? And even here is overbought. Where were the sell signals generated? Again, if you listen carefully to what I just said, the sell signal is generated when it crosses below the 100 line. Look what happened back here. Big sell-off. Here's another one. Wasn't a big sell-off, but enough to be shorted and make money. Here's another one. Sell signal came right at this high. Look what happened after that. Here's another sell signal. You see the consistency here, folks? You see why I get so excited about the CCI sell-off there. Here it kind of sell signal, it bounced up, sell signal, bounced up. Here we go, sell signal, bam. That was the biggest sell-off after the last sell signal here. And even on this one, let me clean up that chart. Even on this sell signal, we had a continuation of the move lower. You see that? Here's another sell signal, had a little bit of a sell-off, but the most recent flirt with the sell signal here resulted in a gap down for Palo Alto Networks. Now, using my trading checklist, you could see that a buy signal was created today on Palo Alto with a green candle when the markets are down significantly. So that's a sign of strength. Now, I wouldn't be going out there and just buying this stock, but I would certainly consider putting on a positive delta option spread, or maybe an iron condor or something delta neutral to collect premium. So that's how we use the CCI for trading. Now, like I said before, I was going to bring up the trades of the week. It was hard to find the best one, so here's a bunch of them. Now, this is the publication listing, and it's time-stamped, okay? So the most recent one was Citigroup. So I'm going to do that and then show you what happened as a result. Okay, so on the 21st, we bought puts in Citigroup, and we bought them cheap for $285. Well, as of today, they were up to $370. That was a 29.8% return. Congratulations, all of our matrix traders. Then we had on the 20th, we bought puts on Bank of America, and we bought those pretty cheap at $1.47. Well, today they closed and traded at $235. So that was up 59.8%, almost 60%. In just a couple of days. And then we had JB Hunt, which is a trucking company. We put that trade out on the 14th, where we bought those puts for $4.60. This was the home run of the week. They closed and traded today at $8. That was up 73, almost 74% right there since the 14th. So you're talking a little bit over a week. and that was up 74%. And then the oldest trade was also on the 14th, where we bought puts in Disney, and we bought those puts for $390. They wound up trading today at $460, and those were up almost 18%. This is how we trade on directional trades. We have trades for directional traders using options through the matrix service. We have super spreads for the spread traders who are a little bit more sophisticated with option trading. And then we also have equity alerts that go out for equity traders. And so if you're interested in this, again, come on board for the 15-day trial. Congratulations to all of our members. This was a great week. Even though the markets are down and investors are getting stressed, we're having a field day in this market. So I want to thank you for liking and following and commenting. That helps the algorithm. Please continue to do that. I really appreciate that. It helps us grow the channel. And remember, we have a 3-day weekend. Markets are closed on Monday. Enjoy the time off. Enjoy it with your family. And I will talk to you next week. So long.